Thanks for taking time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I wanted to start off by asking you what led you into branding? What brought you to this vocation?
Well, I like to think that I invented my job, which is kind of fun because that means anyone can invent their job. But really what led me to this job that I've created is a combination of graphic design, which I was doing for about 17 years, which led me to a bit of a broken body, sitting in a computer, clicking all day, and led me to yoga. And I went very deeply into yoga and did a lot of personal development work and leadership development work through this particular type of yoga I was practicing and teaching. I ended up opening a yoga studio and getting really deep into the world of personal empowerment and leading people through embodied practices. And then I ended up doing a coaching certificate. So I basically took all three and combined them into what I believe is a really effective way of helping people get clear on what their message is and get clear on their brand. So it seems like a lot. I didn't go to school for branding, but I did realize that communication and language is everything. Your word is your wand, and that's the way that you can create your business and your life. So those three aspects of what I was doing led me to this place, which is, I consider myself to be, I am a brand coach and have a personal development company.
Okay, cool. So when you say you're a brand coach, can you be a little bit more specific on what actually happens when you coach somebody through finding out what their brand is? Can you tell us a little bit about that process?
Totally. It usually starts with someone phoning me and saying, I need a logo. And I've had many of those people call me, and I'll say, oh, that's fun. Let's have a look and tell me about your business. And they're not able to. So they're not able to really clearly communicate what their business is about, who it's for, what problem are they solving. They aren't able to really deeply and clearly communicate what their business is about. They just know that they sell this product or are in this service, and they think that the next step is to get a logo or a website. And I'm the one to sort of say, let's hold back and let's go have a conversation over here first and determine way more content about the brand and its message, so that you can go and put an identity to it, like a logo and colors and fonts and a website. But without that deeper understanding, it'll all just be surfacey stuff that won't work anyway. You can spend thousands of dollars on a beautiful logo, but if you have no message and no brand architecture, you've got nothing.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, so if people come to you asking you for a logo, and they're like, no, I just need a logo.
Yeah.
What is that transition like? So if someone is, having trouble, like they have a new business, let's take that for an example. They want to, they have a pretty good idea of their product, but they haven't done any brand work. What kind of foundational stuff do you guys start off doing? Like, how do you start that conversation?
Well, the fundamental, the foundation to any brand is knowing what you do, who you do it for, what's in it for them, and why you do it yourself. So there's an element of story involved, of knowing why you began this thing. If you're just in it for the money, it just doesn't really work in the world. Okay. So when there's some sort of a story, and there usually is, it makes it so much more interesting. So my process is to, again, bring them back to the origin of the business and the product or the service that they've created, and get a lot more of a rich understanding about what it's about. And then through the conversation, they start to get more and more clear about it. The more they hear themselves speak about it, the more they get clear. And sometimes what I find, it's a bit of a generalization, but sometimes I find that people start their business from themselves, which is normal, and they get so immersed in it. They're, drinking the water of it and swimming in it and breathing it. And it's very difficult sometimes for them to transition to looking out at their clients and the people that they could impact and who their business is for. And that's really where I come in. I'll help them really see the impact of their business or product or service on others, and then how to really narrow down their message so that it reaches the hearts and minds of the people that they're to serve.
Right, okay, that makes sense. So switching gears a little bit, for someone who has already got an existing business and maybe hasn't done this foundational work from the beginning, but is reached an impasse in their growth, and they've decided, we actually need to rebrand. if they were to bring that to you, how would you tackle that with them? What is kind of the starting block off to figure out, okay, what is it that you do? And obviously, what kind of deliverables would you give them after that?
Well, I mean, it's a big topic. Rebranding is a really big topic. Some would come saying, we want a fresh look. And sometimes that's a great idea. Sometimes that's a terrible idea. Sometimes they want to come with a whole new website and look and feel. And again, sometimes that's a brilliant strategy. But if they don't know why they're doing that, then it's just change for the sake of change. So what I would want to know are some of the fundamental problems that are happening in the business. What's happening? Is it a cash flow problem? Are they not reaching the people that they're wanting to reach? Is their product or service lost its effectiveness? So there's some bigger questions to ask there around rebranding. I don't know. It's funny because I think about when people want to hire me, I'm the one who kind of shakes things up and asks hard questions, and it's not always fun.
Right.
For them.
Oh, for them, of course.
It's really fun for me. But it's one of those things like, gosh, it's sometimes it's more comfortable to stay in a place that's average and mediocre, and you can predict the future. But what I'm really up to is actually having people create a future for themselves and for others. And there's always bigger potential for greater acts of service, greater income, greater potential, greater abundance. But it takes some real willingness to go in and look and see what's going on and be willing to shake it up.
Awesome. Well, that's really great. I think we've covered a lot of stuff. Thank you for taking the time to sit with me today and go over some of this. And why don't you tell the people where they can find you and how they can get a hold of you if they want to engage you?
Yeah. Well, my business is called Live Big Co. And so it's livebigco.com. Beautiful website created by Sunbowl, and I only ever work with you. But I have 3 ways that I work with people. One is one-on-one coaching, which can sometimes translate into design, but sometimes the coaching is really all people need to get that clarity. And then the second way, of course, is Brand and Deliver, which is an online program. I walk people through an 11-module course, and it's we have 5 calls weekly with a group and a cohort, which I find particularly valuable because this cohort acts as the market. So you get to really test your ideas and your messages on each other. And if there's crickets, then you know that you might need to adjust your message. So it's a really great way to get results and clarity fast. And then a third way is in group facilitation programs. So just check out my website, and there's lots of things to do together.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.